Welcome to our examination of the Carle Graag case, a tragic story that raises important questions about mental health and the criminal justice system. Convicted of first-degree murder for the death of her mother, Ashley, and the attempted murder of her stepfather, Carle's case has sparked a national conversation about the impact of untreated mental illness on criminal behavior. In this video, we'll explore the timeline of events leading up to the crime, the trial, and the broader implications for juvenile justice and mental health advocacy. Join us as we uncover the complexities of this heartbreaking case and its lasting impact on the community. Background of Carle Graag and Ashley Smiley. Carle Graag's upbringing in Brandon, Mississippi appeared ordinary on the surface, with a stable home life alongside her mother, Ashley Smiley, a highly respected high school math teacher, and her stepfather, Heath Smiley. The family seemed like a typical close-knit unit, filled with love and support. However, beneath this seemingly normal exterior, Carle was fighting a silent battle with severe mental health issues. From an early age, she struggled with depression, which only worsened as she entered her teenage years. Her condition escalated with the onset of auditory hallucinations, where she would hear voices that no one else could, and episodes of self-harm as she sought ways to cope with her emotional pain. These mental health challenges left Carle feeling isolated, both at home and at school. She found it difficult to fit in socially and felt disconnected from her peers, which deepened her sense of loneliness. The mounting pressure from both her mental health struggles and the difficulty of navigating teenage life made her feel trapped in a cycle of despair. As Carle's mental health deteriorated, her relationship with her mother, Ashley, began to fray. Once close, their bond became strained as Ashley struggled to grasp the severity of Carle's emotional and psychological turmoil. While Ashley cared deeply for her daughter and tried to be supportive, the growing tension in their home made it increasingly hard for her to understand the depth of Carle's pain. Carle, in turn, felt misunderstood and emotionally distant from her mother, exacerbating her feelings of isolation. Despite Ashley's attempts to help, the emotional chasm between them widened, leaving Carle feeling increasingly alone and desperate for an escape from her inner struggles. This emotional distance within the family set the stage for the tragic events that would later unfold, as Carle's mental health continued to spiral downward without the intervention she desperately needed. The crime. On the afternoon of March 19, 2024, a tragic and unimaginable event unfolded in the Smiley household, altering lives forever. Carle Graag, a troubled teenager battling severe mental health issues, returned home from school and, in a shocking act, shot her mother, Ashley Smiley, 3 times with a .357 Magnum pistol. The murder sent shockwaves through their community, where Ashley, a beloved high school math teacher, was known for her dedication to her students. Even more disturbing was Carle's behavior after the crime. Reports reveal that Carle invited a friend over, chillingly asking, "Are you squeamish around dead bodies?" She then showed her mother's lifeless body to the horrified friend. Carle's plan didn't stop there. She intended to kill her stepfather, Heath Smiley, when he returned home. Heath miraculously survived the attack, managing to call for help despite his injuries. Carle fled the scene but was arrested soon after, leaving the community in a state of shock and disbelief as they grappled with how someone so young could commit such violence. Mental health and the defense. Carle's defense in court centered on her severe mental health issues, which had been extensively documented in the months preceding the crime. Her psychiatrist, Dr. Andrew Clark, provided compelling testimony detailing that Carle had long struggled with auditory hallucinations, severe depression, and untreated psychosis. According to Dr. Clark, Carle's mental health had rapidly deteriorated, culminating in what he termed a psychotic break, just days before the tragic event. This break, he explained, significantly impaired her ability to understand reality. Carle herself testified that she had no memory of the shooting, a crucial point in the defense's argument that she was not in control of her actions at the time. They claimed that her mental health crisis made her unable to distinguish between right and wrong, and therefore she could not be held fully responsible for her actions. Despite this, the prosecution worked to dismantle the defense's argument, highlighting Carle's calculated behavior after the incident. They pointed to her tampering with evidence and her deliberate attempt to kill her stepfather, arguing that these actions demonstrated awareness and a conscious effort to avoid consequences. The prosecution contended that these behaviors were not consistent with someone entirely disconnected from reality, as the defense claimed. They suggested that while Carle may have had mental health issues, she still had the capacity to understand the gravity of her actions and took steps to cover them up, thus challenging the argument that her psychosis absolved her of responsibility. The trial. The trial that followed Carle's arrest was both highly publicized and emotionally charged, drawing significant media attention due to the nature of the crime. Prosecutors painted a picture of Carle as a deeply troubled teenager who had meticulously planned her mother's murder. They presented compelling evidence showing that Carle had sent manipulative text messages to her stepfather from her mother's phone shortly after the murder, arguing that this behavior indicated premeditation and a clear understanding of the gravity of her actions. Furthermore, Carle had confessed to a close friend shortly after the killing, which further complicated her defense team's efforts to establish her innocence based on her mental health issues. Despite the defense's arguments emphasizing the significant role her mental health problems played in the crime, the jury was ultimately swayed by the prosecution's portrayal of Carle as someone who was aware of her actions. After a lengthy and emotionally draining trial, Carle was found guilty of first-degree murder for her mother's death and attempted murder of her stepfather. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. This outcome ignited a broader conversation about the complexities surrounding mental health and its implications within the criminal justice system, highlighting the need for a more nuanced understanding of how mental illness intersects with criminal behavior. Public and family reactions. The aftermath of the trial left Carle's family and the entire community reeling from the shocking events that unfolded. Carle's father, Carle Graag, who had been divorced from Ashley for many years, expressed profound sorrow over the tragic loss of his former wife and the devastating actions of his daughter. In several heartfelt interviews with local media, Carle described his feelings as a painful mix of heartbreak and shame. He found himself caught between mourning Ashley's untimely death and grappling with the reality of Carle's role in her murder. Carle openly questioned why Carle's mental health issues had not been addressed more aggressively and earlier in her life, pondering whether the tragedy could have been prevented if she had received the necessary care and attention during her formative years. The case sparked widespread outrage and sadness within the local community, particularly among Ashley's colleagues and students, who remembered her as a dedicated teacher and a compassionate individual. Many shared their fond memories of Ashley, highlighting her unwavering commitment to her students and her generous spirit. This tragedy quickly became a focal point for discussions about how families, schools, and mental health professionals could collaborate more effectively to identify and support young people in crisis. Community forums and local meetings began to emerge, emphasizing the urgent need for early intervention and better mental health resources to prevent similar tragedies in the future. This case not only highlighted the complexities surrounding mental health issues, but also served as a wake-up call for the community, urging them to prioritize mental health awareness and support for families in need. As the community sought healing, the conversation around mental health became increasingly vital, pushing for systemic changes that could make a difference for future generations. Impact and lessons? The case of Carle Graag has had a profound impact not only on the community of Brandon, Mississippi, but also on the national conversation surrounding mental health, particularly in relation to juvenile offenders. This tragic case has raised crucial questions about the role of mental health in criminal cases and whether the justice system is adequately equipped to handle situations where psychological issues are central to the crime. Carle's circumstances have brought to light the ethical dilemmas surrounding juvenile sentencing, especially in cases involving life sentences without the possibility of parole. While some argue that Carle must be held accountable for her actions, others contend that her mental health struggles should have been given greater weight during sentencing, considering the complexities of her situation. The event has sparked widespread calls for more comprehensive mental health services, particularly for teenagers who may be at risk of falling through the cracks of an underfunded system. Advocates emphasize the need for significant reforms within the criminal justice system to better address cases involving mental illness, arguing that a one-size-fits-all approach does not serve the diverse needs of young offenders. The lessons from Carle's case are stark and serve as a cautionary tale. Untreated mental health issues can lead to catastrophic consequences, not only for individuals, but also for their families and the wider community. Society must work collectively to enhance support systems and intervention strategies, ensuring that vulnerable youth receive the care and attention they need before it's too late. This case serves as a powerful reminder that addressing mental health proactively can help prevent similar tragedies in the future, fostering a more empathetic and responsive approach to mental health challenges among young people. By prioritizing mental health care and support, we can create a safer and more compassionate society for all. In a heartbreaking incident that has shaken the South Carolina community, the tragic murder of Jessica Barnes by her husband Brandon Barnes has drawn attention to the critical issue of domestic violence. This case not only highlights the profound impact of abusive relationships, but also raises important questions about accountability and the responsibilities of those who witness such acts. As the investigation unfolds and the legal proceedings begin, we must examine the broader implications of this tragic event on families and society as a whole. Background of the case. On August 2nd, a tragic event unfolded in South Carolina when Brandon Barnes allegedly manually strangled his wife, Jessica Barnes, in their home. This shocking incident underscores the pervasive issue of domestic violence, which continues to threaten families and communities across the nation. The gravity of such acts transcends personal tragedy. They reflect systemic societal problems that often go unaddressed. Domestic violence is not merely a personal issue, but a community crisis that can devastate entire families and ripple through social networks, leading to a range of long-term psychological effects on survivors and witnesses. As reports of domestic violence rise, it becomes increasingly clear that awareness, intervention, and support are crucial to combat this ongoing crisis. The circumstances surrounding this case illuminate the urgent need for preventive measures and community support systems to protect vulnerable individuals from potential harm. With an increasing number of victims feeling isolated and voiceless, it is imperative for communities to foster safe environments where individuals can report abuse without fear of repercussions. Furthermore, this incident raises critical questions about the efficacy of existing support mechanisms for victims of domestic violence, highlighting a significant gap in resources that often leaves individuals without the help they desperately need. The societal implications of this case extend beyond the immediate tragedy, urging a collective responsibility to advocate for change and support those who are at risk of falling victim to such violence. The discovery of Jessica's body. Jessica Barnes was reported missing on September 10th, leading to a significant investigation that would ultimately uncover her remains in Twin Lakes. The timeline of her disappearance and subsequent discovery raises critical questions about the events leading up to the tragedy. Friends and family faced an emotional roller coaster as they clung to hope while grappling with the stark reality of her fate. The search for Jessica highlighted the grim reality of domestic violence, reminding communities of the potential dangers that can lie within seemingly safe environments. The initial investigation provided insight into the days leading up to her disappearance, uncovering troubling patterns that may have gone unnoticed by those around her. Emotional turmoil swept through the community as news of her disappearance spread, prompting local authorities to rally resources to locate her. This investigation serves as a stark reminder that victims of domestic violence often go missing without a trace, making it imperative for communities to be vigilant and proactive in recognizing the signs of abuse. The emotional toll on the community was profound, as residents came to terms with the shock and grief surrounding Jessica's death. Vigils held in her memory emphasized the community's grief and reinforced the need for ongoing dialogue about domestic violence. The outpouring of support from local organizations highlighted the importance of community involvement in prevention efforts and resources available for those facing similar situations. Ultimately, the search for Jessica underscores the necessity for comprehensive education on domestic violence and the need for robust support systems to help victims escape dangerous situations. The allegations against Brandon Barnes has been charged with the murder of his wife Jessica, with investigators alleging that he intentionally and violently took her life. The nature of the allegations reveals a troubling truth about their relationship, bringing to light the potential for violence that can exist within domestic settings. This case is more than just a tragic loss. It serves as a chilling reminder of how domestic violence can escalate and lead to irreversible consequences for victims and their families. As details emerge about the couple's interactions, the public is forced to confront uncomfortable truths about the reality of domestic abuse. The psychological and emotional implications of such violence extend far beyond the immediate victim, affecting families, children, and entire communities. Reports suggest that there were warning signs leading up to the tragedy, which raises concerns about the effectiveness of available interventions. This narrative encourages discussions about intervention strategies, support systems, and the importance of educating individuals on recognizing signs of abuse before they escalate. Furthermore, the case emphasizes the need for greater awareness around the dynamics of control and power in relationships, urging society to take proactive measures in preventing such tragedies. The social stigma attached to victims of domestic violence often prevents them from seeking help, and the broader implications of this case call for urgent action to change the narrative surrounding domestic abuse. Communities must come together to dismantle the barriers that hinder open dialogue about violence and ensure that resources are available for those in need. Ultimately, this case serves as a catalyst for meaningful conversations about domestic violence, highlighting the urgent need for comprehensive support systems to help victims escape abusive situations. The role of the housemates. 2 housemates, Kendall Mims and Victoria Tippett, have been implicated in this tragic situation. They are accused of assisting Brandon in hiding Jessica's body after witnessing the crime, raising critical questions about accountability and the moral responsibilities of those who are aware of domestic violence situations. Their involvement highlights the complex dynamics of relationships and the difficult choices individuals face in crisis situations. The decision to conceal a crime, particularly one as severe as murder, speaks to the various factors that can influence bystander behavior, including fear, loyalty, and uncertainty. Understanding the psychology behind such decisions can provide valuable insights into the factors that prevent witnesses from coming forward in domestic violence cases. As the case unfolds, it will provoke discussions about the ethical implications of their actions and the societal obligations to intervene in situations where violence is evident. This case exemplifies the need for clear communication and resources to empower witnesses to act responsibly and seek help in dangerous situations, reinforcing the importance of community vigilance. Public opinion surrounding the housemate's actions is likely to spark heated debates about complicity and moral responsibility. The potential legal repercussions for Mims and Tippett could set precedents for how similar cases are handled in the future, emphasizing the need for stronger laws addressing accessory involvement in domestic violence situations. Community outreach programs aimed at educating potential witnesses about their responsibilities can be instrumental in preventing future tragedies. By fostering a culture of accountability and encouraging individuals to report violence, communities can take proactive steps toward addressing domestic abuse and supporting victims. Charges and legal proceedings. Brandon Barnes faces serious charges including murder, while Mims and Tippett are charged with being accessories after the fact and obstructing justice. The legal proceedings surrounding this case are expected to attract significant media attention, bringing focus to the broader implications of domestic violence and bystander involvement. As the courtroom drama unfolds, it will provide insight into how the legal system addresses these serious allegations and the ramifications for those involved. The public scrutiny will not only be directed at Brandon's actions, but also at the legal ramifications for Mims and Tippett, highlighting the complexities of accountability in cases involving domestic violence. The case will likely serve as a litmus test for how effectively the judicial system can navigate the nuances of domestic violence and the roles of various individuals within those dynamics. This case serves as an important opportunity to foster dialogue about the legal repercussions of domestic violence and the involvement of witnesses, prompting critical discussions about the responsibilities of individuals who may witness or suspect abuse. Legal experts and advocates will closely monitor the proceedings, emphasizing the need for robust policies that protect victims and hold offenders accountable, as well as encouraging communities to foster open conversations about domestic violence and its impacts. The outcomes of the trial will have far-reaching implications, potentially influencing how future cases are prosecuted and the resources allocated to address domestic violence issues. It is essential for the legal community to prioritize victim support and rehabilitation for offenders to ensure a comprehensive approach to tackling the pervasive issue of domestic violence. Broader community impact. The tragic events surrounding Jessica Barnes's death serve as a powerful reminder of the pervasive issues of domestic violence and the complexities of accountability in such cases. This incident is not isolated. It reflects broader societal patterns that demand attention and action. The implications extend beyond the individuals directly involved, affecting families, friends, and entire communities. By raising awareness of domestic violence and encouraging community engagement, we can work towards fostering a culture that prioritizes safety and support for those at risk. The community's response to this tragedy can catalyze essential changes in how domestic violence is addressed at both local and national levels. As communities come together to discuss these tragic events, it becomes clear that collective action is essential for creating safer environments. Local organizations and advocacy groups play a crucial role in providing support and resources to those affected by domestic violence, helping to empower victims and educate bystanders. The conversations sparked by this case can serve as a catalyst for change, encouraging individuals to stand up against violence and seek help for themselves or others. Increased funding for domestic violence programs, improved training for law enforcement, and community workshops focused on recognizing and reporting abuse can help create safer environments for all. This case highlights the urgent need for collaborative efforts to address domestic violence, improve support systems, and advocate for the rights and safety of all individuals. Ultimately, by shedding light on such tragic cases, we can inspire a commitment to prevention and intervention, ensuring that future generations do not suffer similar fates. Community and societal impact. The tragic case of Jessica Barnes's murder highlights the urgent need for communities to confront the pervasive issue of domestic violence and its broader societal implications. Domestic violence affects not only the immediate victims, but also families, friends, and the community at large, creating a cycle of trauma that can last for generations. The repercussions of such violence extend into public health, economic stability, and community safety. When domestic violence goes unaddressed, it can lead to increased healthcare costs, lost productivity, and a heightened sense of fear and insecurity within neighborhoods. Communities must engage in open discussions about the signs of domestic abuse and encourage individuals to seek help. Educational initiatives can empower community members to recognize and intervene in potentially dangerous situations, ultimately fostering a culture of support and vigilance. This case serves as a wake-up call, urging communities to rally together to provide resources for victims, promote awareness, and advocate for legislative changes that prioritize safety and protection. By addressing the societal impact of domestic violence, communities can break the cycle of abuse and create safer environments for everyone. Collaborative efforts between local organizations, law enforcement, and educational institutions can lead to more effective prevention strategies and support systems. In doing so, communities not only honor the memory of victims like Jessica Barnes, but also take meaningful steps toward reducing violence and promoting healing for all affected. In a deeply troubling incident in Lauderdale Lakes, Florida, 14-year-old Sophia Koval has been accused of the manslaughter of her grandmother, Yevgenia Koval. This case has garnered significant media attention, prompting urgent discussions regarding family violence, mental health, and the complexities of the juvenile justice system. Sophia now faces serious charges while being held without bond, a reflection of the case's severity. As the community processes the implications of this shocking act within a family context, there is an increasing call for a balanced approach that emphasizes both accountability and compassion for young offenders. Underscoring the need for comprehensive support and intervention strategies. Background of Sophia Koval. Sophia Koval, a 14-year-old from Lauderdale Lakes, Florida, has been charged with the manslaughter of her grandmother, Yevgenia Koval. This case has captured significant media attention due to both Sophia's young age and the violent nature of the incident, prompting discussions about the complexities surrounding youth violence. The tragic event raises critical questions about Sophia's mental health and emotional well-being, as reports indicate she has been struggling with psychological challenges. These factors could have significantly influenced her actions leading up to the incident. The decision to charge her as an adult reflects the serious implications of the case, highlighting the urgent need to examine the interplay between trauma and violent behavior in young individuals. This situation underscores broader societal issues, such as the necessity for adequate mental health support for adolescents and the importance of family intervention in times of crisis. Furthermore, it brings to light the responses of the juvenile justice system to severe crimes committed by minors, calling for a more nuanced approach that balances accountability with compassion. As the investigation progresses, it becomes increasingly evident that addressing mental health issues early on and fostering open communication within families are vital steps in preventing similar tragedies in the future. By prioritizing these aspects, communities can work towards creating safer environments where young individuals feel supported and understood, ultimately reducing the risk of violence within family dynamics. Profile of the accused, Sophia Koval. Sophia Koval is a 14-year-old girl currently facing serious legal charges related to the tragic death of her grandmother, Yevgenia Koval. Given her young age, there are significant concerns regarding her mental and emotional well-being, particularly in light of the traumatic circumstances surrounding this incident. Reports suggest that Sophia has been grappling with various personal issues and emotional challenges, which may have played a role in influencing her actions on that fateful day. The legal system's choice to charge her as an adult underscores the seriousness of the situation, bringing to the forefront the complexities involved in addressing cases involving juvenile offenders who are accused of severe crimes. This decision raises important discussions about the balance between holding young individuals accountable for their actions while also considering the psychological factors that may affect their behavior. Understanding the nuances of Sophia's mental state is crucial, as it can inform the legal proceedings and influence public perception of how society should respond to similar cases involving minors. Ultimately, this situation calls for a careful examination of the intersection between accountability and compassion in the juvenile justice system, emphasizing the need for supportive interventions that address underlying issues affecting youth. About the victim, Yevgenia Koval. Yevgenia Koval, at 79 years old, was a beloved figure within her family, particularly for her granddaughter Sophia, with whom she shared a special bond. Yevgenia was not just a grandmother, she was a source of support, wisdom, and affection that played a crucial role in shaping Sophia's life. Her sudden and tragic death has created an emotional void that resonates deeply within the family. The relationship dynamics between Yevgenia and Sophia bring to light critical questions regarding family interactions, communication, and the potential signs of distress that might have been overlooked. Yevgenia's passing serves as a poignant reminder of the intricate nature of familial relationships, emphasizing the need for open dialogue about mental health and emotional well-being within families. Understanding these complexities is vital for addressing any underlying issues and fostering a healthier family environment, which is essential for preventing similar tragedies in the future. As those left behind navigate their grief, the importance of addressing family dynamics and emotional struggles cannot be understated. This tragic incident underscores the necessity of recognizing and responding to emotional needs within the family, allowing for healing and support during difficult times. Chronology of events. On May 23, 2024, a tragic incident unfolded when law enforcement received urgent reports leading to the harrowing discovery of Yevgenia Koval's unresponsive body. This shocking event sent ripples through the community, prompting an immediate and comprehensive investigation. As police worked diligently to piece together the timeline of events, it became increasingly clear that the circumstances surrounding her death were anything but ordinary. The sequence of occurrences that day underscores the profound impact of violence within families, highlighting the pressing need for effective interventions and support systems to address underlying issues before they culminate in devastating tragedies. This incident serves as a somber reminder of the complexities within family relationships and the urgent need for awareness and action to prevent similar occurrences in the future. Revealed cause of death? The autopsy conducted on Yevgenia Koval revealed that she succumbed to extensive bruising and severe internal injuries, highlighting the brutal nature of her death. These medical findings serve as crucial evidence in the ongoing investigation and legal proceedings surrounding this case. The alarming severity of her injuries raises pressing questions about the circumstances leading to this tragic event, and whether there were prior indications of escalating conflict or distress within the household. Understanding the cause of death is not only essential for legal accountability, but also plays a significant role in raising awareness about the critical issues of family violence. It underscores the urgent need for timely intervention and support systems to address such situations, aiming to prevent further tragedies from occurring within family dynamics. By examining these issues, society can work toward creating safer environments for all individuals involved. The weapon involved. The investigation has revealed that the weapon or method used in the attack on Yevgenia Koval was disturbingly brutal, as highlighted by the extensive injuries detailed in the autopsy report. While the specifics about the weapon itself may remain undisclosed for legal reasons, the nature of the injuries speaks volumes about the intensity and ferocity of the violence that occurred. This aspect is crucial in understanding the gravity of the situation and will significantly influence the legal proceedings against Sophia Koval. The use of such excessive force raises important questions regarding the motivations behind her actions. as well as the broader implications for family safety and mental health. It forces society to confront uncomfortable truths about the dynamics that can exist within families and the potential for violence. This case serves as a sobering reminder of the urgent need for effective interventions, mental health support, and open dialogues within families to address issues before they escalate into tragedies. Ultimately, this incident highlights the importance of understanding the underlying factors that can lead to such devastating outcomes, pushing for preventive measures to ensure the safety and well-being of vulnerable individuals in similar situations. Sofia Koval's confession. Sofia Koval's reported confession to hitting her grandmother multiple times adds a complex layer to this tragic case, making it even more difficult to comprehend. This admission raises profound questions about her psychological state at the time of the incident, particularly regarding her ability to understand the consequences of her actions. Moreover, her claim that she later assisted Yevgenia in dying indicates a troubling mindset that suggests significant emotional turmoil and conflict, which may have profoundly influenced her decisions. The ramifications of this confession are far-reaching, impacting not just her legal situation, but also highlighting an urgent necessity for comprehensive support interventions for young individuals navigating similar challenges. This case illustrates the critical importance of recognizing and addressing the underlying factors that can lead to such violent behavior. Understanding these influences is vital for preventing future occurrences and promoting healthier environments for youth. As this case unfolds, it serves as a stark reminder of the complexities inherent in familial relationships, urging society to reflect on the significance of early intervention and robust support systems. Such measures are essential in addressing the multifaceted challenges that young people face today, ensuring they receive the help they need to navigate their emotional landscapes effectively. By fostering an environment of understanding and compassion, we can work towards preventing similar tragedies in the future. Legal charges and current status. Sofia Koval has been formally charged with manslaughter, a serious offense that significantly underscores the gravity of her circumstances. Being charged as an adult carries profound implications, signaling how the legal system perceives the severity of the case and its potential consequences. Currently held without bond, this situation emphasizes the substantial risks authorities associate with her potential release, indicating a lack of confidence in her ability to reintegrate safely into society at this time. The legal proceedings will delve into multiple factors, including her psychological state and the specific circumstances surrounding the incident, both of which are critical in determining the appropriate path forward. This case extends beyond Sofia's personal future. It serves as a significant commentary on the juvenile justice system's treatment of young offenders involved in serious crimes. It raises essential questions about how society balances the need for accountability with a nuanced understanding of the rehabilitation potential in minors. This nuanced approach is crucial, as it not only affects the lives of individuals like Sofia, but also influences broader discussions on justice, societal responsibility, and the support mechanisms available for youth facing severe charges. As the case unfolds, it highlights the pressing need for careful consideration of both the legal implications and the social context surrounding young offenders within our judicial system, ultimately shaping the discourse on how best to address these challenging and complex issues. Welcome. Today, we will delve into another tragic case of Claire Zizerson, a heartbreaking incident that has left a community in mourning. A tragic accident occurred after a Christmas party when a drunk driver sped through a red light. The collision resulted in the death of a 13-year-old girl. Eyewitnesses heard the screech of tires followed by a loud crash. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but the girl was pronounced dead at the scene. This shocking incident raised concerns about the dangers of drunk driving, leading to discussions about road safety. Families in the area mourned the loss, realizing that a simple night out ended in tragedy. The accident serves as a painful reminder of the consequences of reckless behavior. importance of making safe choices when it comes to driving after consuming alcohol or drugs. Background of Claire Zizerson and Gregory Goodsell. Claire Zizerson was a 13-year-old girl known for her kindness, laughter, and academic accomplishments. She aspired to become a doctor, reflecting her dedication to helping others. In addition to her studies, Claire was an enthusiastic soccer player and volunteered at local charities, embodying a spirit of compassion and community service. Her life was tragically cut short on December 29, 2019, when she was killed in a car crash in Pembroke, Massachusetts, caused by a drunk and drugged driver. Friends and family described her as a vibrant young girl with a bright future, and her untimely death left an indelible mark on all who knew her. To honor her memory, a candlelight vigil was held, emphasizing the urgent need for road safety awareness. Claire's family has since become advocates for stricter laws against drunk driving, highlighting the devastating impact of reckless behavior on innocent lives. Gregory Goodsell, on the other hand, was a 36-year-old man whose reckless actions led to this tragedy. Prior to the crash, Goodsell had been drinking heavily at a company Christmas party, where he also used cocaine. He drove his Ford F-250 truck at speeds of up to 95 miles per hour when he collided with the Subaru carrying Claire, her mother, Elizabeth Zizerson, and her friend, Kendall Zemotel. The crash resulted in Claire's death and serious injuries to the other occupants. Following the incident, Goodsell was charged with second-degree murder, motor vehicle manslaughter, and multiple counts of operating under the influence. In October 2024, he was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years, along with strict conditions regarding his release. His case underscores the dire consequences of impaired driving and the need for greater awareness and legislative measures to prevent such tragedies in the future. Details of the incident. After leaving the Christmas party, Gregory Goodsell made the reckless decision to drive despite being heavily impaired by both alcohol and cocaine. At approximately 6:50 a.m. on December 29, 2019, he ran a red light, colliding with a Subaru, driven by Claire Zizerson's mother, Elizabeth. The crash was catastrophic, causing extensive damage to both vehicles involved. Witnesses at the scene described the aftermath as chaotic, with bystanders rushing to assist the victims in their moments of need. Emergency responders arrived swiftly, working diligently to provide medical aid, but unfortunately, their efforts were in vain, and Claire's life could not be saved. This tragic incident left her family and the entire community in shock and deep mourning. Claire was a bright 13-year-old girl with dreams of becoming a doctor, and her untimely death robbed her of a promising future. The impact of this crash extended beyond personal grief, serving as a sobering reminder of the dangers associated with drunk driving. It underscored the urgent need for greater awareness about responsible choices behind the wheel. The event became a wake-up call for the community, prompting discussions about road safety and the importance of preventing similar tragedies. Claire's family has since advocated for stricter laws against drunk driving, highlighting the need for accountability and awareness to protect innocent lives on the road. The court trial. Following the tragic accident that took Claire Zizerson's life, legal proceedings commenced against Gregory Goodsell, the driver responsible for the crash. He faced serious charges, including vehicular manslaughter and driving under the influence, DUI. The case attracted significant media attention, as Claire's family sought justice for their loss. During the trial, various forms of evidence were presented, including eyewitness testimonies that detailed the events leading up to the accident and toxicology reports, confirming Goodsell's impairment from alcohol and cocaine. The prosecution argued for a lengthy prison sentence, emphasizing the reckless and irresponsible nature of his actions that led to the death of a young girl with a promising future. In contrast, the defense attempted to portray Goodsell as an individual who made a grave mistake rather than a criminal, highlighting his remorse for the incident. Despite these arguments, the evidence overwhelmingly supported the prosecution's case. Ultimately, the judge imposed a substantial prison sentence, reflecting the seriousness of drunk driving and the consequences of such reckless behavior. This outcome provided some measure of closure to Claire's grieving family and underscored the critical need for accountability in cases involving impaired driving. The incident sparked broader conversations about road safety and the importance of making responsible choices behind the wheel. Community response. The community reacted with profound shock and grief following the tragic accident that took the life of Carle Graag. News of the incident spread quickly, leaving many residents grappling with how such a devastating tragedy could occur in their own neighborhood. In the wake of this loss, vigils were organized to honor Carle, bringing together friends, family, and neighbors. These gatherings allowed people to share cherished memories and support one another during this heartbreaking time. Local organizations stepped up to advocate for stricter drunk driving laws, emphasizing the urgent need for increased awareness of the dangers associated with impaired driving. Social media campaigns emerged, encouraging individuals to take personal responsibility and never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Many community members expressed a strong desire for change, hoping that this tragedy would spark important conversations about alcohol consumption, road safety, and the severe consequences of reckless behavior. The accident united the community in mourning, but it also ignited a commitment to preventing future incidents. People came together to discuss how to create safer roadways and foster a culture of accountability regarding drinking and driving. The overwhelming response to this tragedy reflects a shared determination to honor Carle's memory by working towards a future where such devastating events are less likely to occur. This collective effort aims to ensure that her story becomes a catalyst for change, promoting awareness and responsibility within the community. Drunk driving issues. Drunk driving is a critical issue that impacts countless lives each year, leading to tragic consequences for individuals and families alike. Statistics indicate that a significant percentage of traffic fatalities involve drivers under the influence of alcohol. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, nearly 30% of all traffic deaths result from drunk driving incidents, underscoring the urgent need for greater awareness and prevention efforts. The emotional toll on victims and their families can be immense, often lasting a lifetime. Losing a loved one to a preventable accident leaves a deep scar, and the effects ripple through the community. In response to this ongoing problem, many communities are launching awareness campaigns aimed at educating the public about the dangers of impaired driving. Initiatives include promoting designated driver programs, encouraging the use of rideshare services, and advocating for responsible alcohol consumption. Additionally, law enforcement agencies are increasing patrols and conducting sobriety checkpoints to reduce the number of impaired drivers on the road. These efforts are essential to combat drunk driving and create a safer environment for everyone. Tackling this issue requires a collective effort from individuals, communities, and authorities to foster a culture of responsibility and safety. By working together, we can make significant strides in preventing drunk driving incidents and protecting innocent lives, avoiding future tragedies. In response to the heartbreaking accident that claimed Carle Graag's life, there is a growing emphasis on preventing future tragedies caused by drunk driving. Advocacy groups are actively pushing for tougher laws and harsher penalties for individuals caught driving under the influence. Public awareness campaigns are being launched to educate people about the severe consequences of impaired driving, aiming to change attitudes and behaviors around alcohol consumption. Schools and community organizations are hosting various events to promote responsible drinking and encourage the use of designated drivers. These initiatives emphasize the importance of making safe choices, especially during celebrations where alcohol may be consumed. Technology is also playing a role in prevention efforts. For example, breathalyzer ignition interlocks are being advocated as a means to prevent intoxicated individuals from starting their vehicles. Furthermore, parents are encouraged to have open discussions with their children about the dangers of alcohol and drug use. By addressing the root causes of drunk driving and promoting a culture of accountability, communities can work towards a future with safer roads. The tragic loss of Carle serves as a powerful reminder of the need for vigilance and responsibility behind the wheel. This collective effort aims to honor her memory by ensuring that no other family has to endure a similar tragedy. Thank you for joining us to discuss the tragic case of Carle Graag and the impact of drunk driving on innocent lives. This story highlights the urgent need for greater awareness and prevention efforts surrounding impaired driving. We invite you to share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. If you found this video informative and important, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more crucial stories. Your support enables us to address vital issues within our communities. Together, we can work towards safer roads for everyone. See you in the next video.